guys, my name is Jessica likewise. I'm the CEO of Hope Education Services, and I'm passionate about helping families all over the world that are affected by autism learn how to help their kids. So I make these videos for families just like you, so you can come on and learn a bit about how to help your child be really successful in all areas of their life. So I'm going to be talking today about a strategy that you can use to help your child with autism to make eye contact. Now, we know that for kids with autism, they don't necessarily make eye contact, and it can be really difficult for them. Well, intrinsically, they don't see that as a way of communication. They don't understand that they can communicate with us that way. So when we're talking about teaching kids to make eye contact, we're trying to teach them that that's a way that they can communicate. Now, anytime that you're trying to teach someone a way to communicate, the best way to start is by teaching them to ask for things that they want. So kids are much more likely to make eye contact if you have something that they want, because they're going to be super motivated. So for the purpose of this video, I just have this as a meditation stone that I keep on my desk, and I'm going to be using this. So what you're going to do essentially when you're teaching kids to make eye contact, I'm going to take you through this step process that I use, and you're going to have something that they want. Always have something that they want. Ideally, this could probably be some sort of food, just because they can, and it should be small, and it should be some kind of food where they can have lots of it, because you want to give them lots and lots of opportunities to practice. So if they love goldfish, that would be a perfect thing, or pretzels or M&Ms, anything. Maybe M&Ms they can't have a lot of, but anything that they consume a lot of, so you can make sure you can keep practicing it. And anything that they want for this will work, assuming that it's small enough, because once you see what I'm going to be doing, you're going to understand why it needs to be small. And it can change. It doesn't have to be the same thing every time. So it could be something different every day, and you could be literally doing this all day, every day. In fact, you should be doing this all day, every day. So essentially, you're going to have the item that your child wants. You're going to hold it like this, and then you're going to say, look, and you're going to flip your wrist, and you're going to bring it to your eyes. Now, make sure they're looking at what they want. This will not work if they're not looking at what they want. So the idea is that when you flick your wrist and you're moving your wrist up, it's lifting the object up, and you're bringing it up, and you're going to stop at your eyes. They're going to follow the object. They're going to track the object and make eye contact with you. And then the second they make eye contact with you, you have to give it to them. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to happen within half a second. Neurologically, the brain does not associate a reinforcer. The object they want is a reinforcer in this case, unless they get it within half a second of the behavior. So give it to them as fast as you possibly can. Now, you're going to do that for a really long time, until they're consistently making eye contact when you say look and you bring it to their eyes. When it's consistent, then you're going to go on to step 2. You're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to have something they want. You're going to say, look, you're going to flick your wrist and bring it up to your nose. But if they continue looking at the object and they stop looking at your nose, they don't get it. They only get it if you bring it to your eyes. This is a technique actually called shaping, which is an ABA technique. I made a video about what shaping is, so if you want to have a better understanding about it, just look for that video on my channel, parenttrainingvideos.com. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can check out my channel and search for that video. But this is a shaping technique, which means we're gradually making it more difficult. So the technical definition is we're reinforcing successive approximations of a behavior, but it's kind of redundant to call it that. We're just going to say we're making it gradually more difficult. So then, right, what's the next step? The next step is we're going to flick our wrist. We're going to bring it to our mouth. Again, they're going to be still going up to our eyes, making eye contact. Once they get it at the mouth, then you go on again. Then you go on your next step again. Now, you're not going to do all this in one day. It might take a month. It might take 2 weeks. It might take 3 days. It might take 1 day. But typically, you're going to be a couple weeks on each one of these steps. The next step, what's the next part down? Your chin. You're going to bring the object to your chin, and then they're going to look at your eyes, and they're going to get it. Now, once they're consistently doing that, you can fade that prompt. So that is actually a gestural prompt, or could be a gesture prompt. Probably you can have a great debate. I'm sure that there's going to be some ABA therapists arguing whether this is a gesture prompt or what kind of prompt it is, physical prompt. It doesn't really matter. The point is, you're cueing them to try to look at your eyes. After that, you're just going to have something that they want. This is the step we were waiting for, where you're like, look, and they look at you in the eyes, and then they give you what you want. At that point, they're going to start to understand that looking is a form of eye contact, or excuse me, eye contact is a form of communication, that eye contact can give them what they want. Then when they want something, they're going to start looking at you automatically when they want something, even when you're not saying look. And they're going to associate, again, that eye contact with the fact that that's communication to get what they want. The other thing is they're going to have learned in that process what it means to look. So when you say look, they're going to know that they're supposed to look at you. So that is a strategy that is tested, tried, true, works for every single child. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of kids over 11 years. I've never seen a child that doesn't work for. It works every single time. But the key is, number one, consistency, and number two is lots and lots and lots of practice. I stress to all the parents I work with, and and I get it, it's really hard as a parent. You might be like, Jess, this is impossible. But to every extent that you can, every single time you're giving your child something they want, every single time, make sure they're making eye contact with you. I know that seems hard. I hope that it's a little bit easier with this prompting technique I just showed you. The wrist flick, believe it or not, is really helpful. I didn't discover that until about 2 years ago. And it wasn't even anything that anyone taught me. Just one day I started doing it by accident. I was like, hey, this really works. I'm like, I don't know if there's any research showing that the wrist flip is actually the best technique, but it works really well for me. So, I just do it to every extent that you can. As much practice as your child has, the better it's going to be. I always tell every parent that there's a certain number of times for your child, and it's different for every child, but there's a certain number of times that your child needs to see something in order to get it. So let's say that number is like 1,000 times. Well, if you're doing it 100 times a day, it's only going to take 10 times. But if you're doing it 10 times a day, it's going to take 100 days in order for them to get it. So as much practice as you can possibly give them is the best possible way. So I really hope that this video was helpful. I would love to give you and your family a free gift. So I know that if you're watching this video, you're working on eye contact, chances are eventually down the road, you're going to be working on potty training with your kid with autism. So I wrote a book that is a special approach for teaching kids with autism to use the potty. And you can download that book at absolutely no cost. It's my gift to you. You can download it at autismpottytraining.com. That will also sign you up for my weekly newsletter, so I can be in touch with you every week. I make videos just like this. I write different blog posts, and you get all sorts of things, even coupons for courses that I teach and other books that I write. Some of them you can get on Amazon, and some of them are just free gifts for you that you'll get them all the time. So I encourage you to go download that book, subscribe to the newsletter. And if this is your first time on this YouTube channel, please subscribe. I put videos out like this all the time, really, because I want to help you. The last thing I just want to say is that if you have a question or something you're struggling with your child, please chat in the comments of this video. Tell me what it is. Ask me questions. Most of the videos that I make are actually inspired by parent questions, and I read and respond to all of the comments that you write on these YouTube videos. Plus, I just love to hear how these videos are helping you. So please, if you loved this video, write your takeaway. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Take care. Thanks again.